toward you, roll it away from you, make it move in some way. You can also try the flashlight trick. You turn it on, set it down, and you can say, all right, if somebody's here with me, could you please make the flashlight dim? And then if it does, you can say, okay, thank you, could you now make it brighten? See if it does. You can also ask a series of yes or no questions. You could say, could you make the flashlight blink once for yes and twice for no? Ask them those questions and see if they will blink corresponding to those responses. You could even, this is really leveling up, but both teams, have two flashlights that are different colors. So you could establish out loud that black means yes and red means no. Ask those yes or no questions and see if they will make those flashlights dim or brighten corresponding to the colors. That's really leveling up because it's a lot of energy to switch back and forth between two devices, so it would work my way there. But you can get creative with the flashlight trick. I think it's one of the simplest ways to investigate, and I think that's why it works so well. So I would do it everywhere, in every section, while you're investigating here. Next up, feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. I'm going to give you a lot of information in a short amount of time, and take notes if you need to take notes. All right, next up. Amy, tell me what this is. This is an EMF meter, or a K2. So this is your most basic piece of investigative equipment. If you ever do another investigation, you're going to be given a K2. So I'm going to hand this to you when it's already. You don't need to do anything with this piece of equipment. Now your base reading. Picking up, detecting. It's picking up energy. And when it does, it's going to light up. Hopefully, well, probably about to be orange, but could light up all the way to the red. You want, so quick. If this were to light up and stay lit up, if this were to just keep flashing, close to the Wi-Fi. These were invented by electricians. So you want this to just so quick, up, down. These are a little bit sensitive. If you shake a K2, you'll get a false reading. It's really easy to accidentally shake a K2. So I would just put it down on a table and leave it alone. That way I know I'm not getting that false reading. If you want to walk around, just be gentle with it. I had someone who was walking up the stairs and it lit up and he thought it was paranormal, and I think it was because he was walking up the stairs as gentle as he was trying to be. So I would just set it down because it makes it a little bit more substantial. Ooh, that's fun. It's around before. Not paranormal. Okay, so I'm going to give everybody two K2s. You can put one K2 on one side of the room and the other on the other side. So that if this one is lighting up, you can say, okay, hi, I see you over there. Could you go to the other side of the room and make that other K2 light up and see if it does? We're looking for intelligent communication because we have intelligent spirits here. We're hoping all of this equipment goes off tonight. And it won't. That would be nuts. But we're not hoping it goes off willy-nilly. We're hoping it goes off when we want it to and the way that we want it to. So you always want to establish out loud. I'm going to go ahead and pass out two K2s per team. You're not stuck with the K2. You know you can share it. There. Okay. How are we feeling so far? Good, good. Nothing too complicated. All right, we're going to get a little more intense. Can anybody tell me what this is? No, that's a fun guess. Sort of like an obulus. An obulus is a device that will give you words, but you're reading those words as a text. This is a spirit box. And with a spirit box, you're going to hear those words. So with a spirit box, the idea is that you're going to hear a spirit respond to you in real time. So if we think of spirits as being energy, this is an established energy source. It's a glorified radio. It is easier for a spirit to talk to you through this than to talk to you. So there are only two buttons that are really important for the investigation. Those two buttons are the power button, obviously, and the sweep reverse button. It says sweep REV. Now I'm going to hold these down and come around so that you can hear it, and I'll explain it a little bit further. You do have to hold them down until they register, and then you can let go. So So the power button is on the bottom right. I'm going to hold it down. Now I'm letting go. The radio. I'm going to hold down sweep reverse, also on the bottom. I'm going to come around so that you can see and hear. It is sweeping through the radio station. It's like your car radio stands. Exactly the same thing. Or any radio stands. Right? Now you need this to be sweeping in order for it to work properly. And with this piece of equipment, for sure, you're going to have some radio interference. I heard it a few times even just during that tutorial. You are absolutely going to have some radio come through. What you're listening for is a vocalization that will extend past the length of one change of a frequency. You are listening for a phrase, a word that's longer than 3 syllables, that basically overlays multiple sweeps. It won't be broken up. The way that the radio interference will be broken up. Not to just preemptively burst your bubbles, but if you're confused whether or not it's the radio, it's probably the radio. It sounds longer, louder, the intonation is different. You'll know it when you hear it. Now, what I do with the spirit box, and this is a take it or leave it tip, I let it sweep a few times because I start to hear a pattern. I know when that radio interference is going to come through. And then when I hear something that's not what I'm expecting, I take a little bit more note on that. So that always helps me, and that could help you too. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pass out the spirit boxes to the first person on every team, and I'm just going to ask that you press power, press sweep reverse, and pass it to your teammates. I don't mean to treat like kindergartners, but you're going to be in the dark, and the buttons are very small. So go ahead and try it out. That's fun. Good idea. Perfect. Yeah. And then feel free to pass it to your other teammates. They can turn it off, turn it back on, and try it themselves. Sometimes people are inclined to pull the antenna out. It just creates more radio interference, so no need to pull the antenna out. Perfect. Nailed it. All right. So let's go ahead and turn those off if they make sense to everybody. A couple things with those. Surprised nobody said it this time. Everybody always says, oh, it's so quiet, or where's the volume button? They're quiet on purpose. They are already turned all the way up. If this was so loud, all you'd be hearing is what's coming through this box. And that would just be a huge mistake. You are your best investigative tool. Pay attention to what you're hearing in the room, what you're smelling, what you're feeling, both physically and emotionally. And if anybody smells, hears, feels anything, say something to your team and bring it up during the debrief, because it might be even more substantial than it seems in the moment. Usually everybody's favorite pieces of evidence are what's personal to them. So please pay attention to what's going on with you and not just what's going on with this equipment. Now, I would not have the spirit box sweeping the whole time. It's your investigation and it's up to you how you want to do it. Not only would it just drive me insane hearing the whole time, but I would miss something. So I would have a dedicated spirit box session, gather my team together, everybody sit together, have the spirit box with us, have somebody's cell phone recording our spirit box session. It does not have the ability to record or a playback button. People regret not recording their spirit box sessions. You can just use a video or a voice memo app on your phone. So record your spirit box session, use that time to really hone in and listen. Now, if you've never done this before, you're going to feel real kooky walking into an empty room just talking to the air. But you paid $50 to be here, lean into it. Plus, you have an opportunity to talk to 19th century, 18th century people, ask them some interesting questions. And if you run out of your questions, repeat them. Just ask the same questions over and over again. And if you really run out of questions, talk to each other. This is the best tip I have for you all night. I had a group once. They were having such a quiet night. Nothing was happening. There used to be a teddy bear in this room, and this girl started to talk about how she grew up with a stuffed lamb and not a teddy bear. And all of the equipment went off. It was so wonderful. It was like someone else maybe also grew up with a stuffed lamb. Or maybe they just appreciated her vulnerability in the moment. You never know. So that's a good way to make a connection. Talk to each other. The more you get to know each other, the more the spirits get to know you, the more comfortable you feel, the more comfortable they will feel. So talk to each other. Now, if you've never done this before, too, you want to treat a spirit like a stranger whom you want to befriend on the street. You're not going to run up to someone and say, who are you and why are you here? You're going to say, hi, my name's Jamie, what's your name? Or you're going to pay them a compliment. You're going to knock on the door before you walk into someone's space. This is their space. Treat it like it's their space. Knock on the door. Introduce yourself every space you go into. That is the way to get people to talk to you. I know I harp on this, but it's the hardest part, just knowing what to say or how to say it. So lean into it, even if you feel a little bit silly, or just talk to each other. Okay. You now have all the equipment that you're responsible for. This is what you're bringing with you from rotation to rotation, and it is what you're responsible for returning into me before the debrief. I have a couple more pieces of equipment. These are both stationary. So this is an EDI. It is an environmental detection instrument. It's 3 pieces of equipment in one. It is measuring ambient temperature. That's what the digital read is at the top. So when you get to the location where this is, you can say, all right, it's 58.6 degrees. When we leave in 25 minutes, could you make this rise to 64.9? And if you left in 25 minutes and this said 64.9, that's pretty remarkable. Try that. This is also picking up EMF. The same way that your K2, the one that ticks, is picking up EMF. It'll light up blue at these middle sensors. But what we're really using this for is the geophone that's built in. This is measuring seismic activity. I'm going to put this in a place in the mansion where we get a lot of reports of footsteps. So, can everybody see this? Okay. Right, those orange lights at the bottom. I love the EDI. People forget about it. It's not in their hands. You can ask the spirits to imitate you. Say, I'm going to knock 4 times. Could you knock back 4 times? Go ahead and knock. Maybe you won't hear the knocks back, but you'll see this light up 4 times in response. It's helpful that you did that, because now you know the range. No, I'm not mad about it. I think you were just trying to understand it a little bit further, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, you can ask for knocks back anywhere. It's very neat to hear knocks back, but this is great, because you won't always hear them, and it does allow you to see them. Okay, last but not least, everybody's favorite piece of equipment. Can anybody tell me what this is? Ooh, it's a REM pod. So a REM pod is like a super K2. A REM pod is emitting its own electromagnetic field around its antenna. And when something breaks that field, it lets you know through lights and sounds. So, it's just like a theremin. Everyone's musically inclined. Now, because this lights up and makes sounds, so many of my guests, usually men again, want to touch it. Please don't touch it. Don't wiggle your fingers in front of it, because you're just doing yourself a disservice. You're going to mess with the calibration. You're going to start getting false readings. So let the spirits make the REM pod light up. Now, a way to get good, intelligent communication with the REM pod would be to try a countdown. I'm going to count down from 10, and when I finish, can you make the REM pod light up? See if it does when you want it to. There are 3 REM pods, so 1 in every section where you'll be investigating tonight, and they're very much there for your use. We also do have children's spirits, who I'll talk about in the house, and you can make it fun for them. Yeah, they can make the REM pod light up. Ask them to show you their favorite color or something. I don't know, I'm not very good with kids. You might be able to come up with a better game than I can, but have fun with them with the REM pod. Okay. Any questions regarding any of this equipment at all? We're about to go into the mansion for our little tour. If you brought like a bag or a coat, it is a little bit cold in the lower level. In here we have a heater. Upstairs there are heaters. But if you want to drop off like a bulky coat or a bag or something, you can always leave it on the counter, because we will finish in this same room. So you can always drop it off here. If you need to come back and get it in the middle of investigating, that's fine too. So drop off anything you need to. Otherwise, feel free to just follow me into the mansion. Behind this door right here, to the left hand, that door is always back there. So if you were to see a shadow in this freeway, it's probably me. And if you need us, that's where we are. So just so you know, we're here on the property at all times. Okay, follow me in this way. Feel free to kind of gather around the table. Perfect. So, welcome inside Sorrel Weed Mansion. It's a weird introduction coming into a very dark basement. But this house was built in 1840 for Francis and Matilda Sorrel. Francis and Matilda Sorrel are two spirits whom you can try to reach out to tonight. They were living here and raising their family here. This lower level where we're standing was their enslaved people's working quarters. The Sorrels did have probably up to 15 enslaved house servants while they were living here. So this big room where we are now, this was their working kitchen. Every fireplace down here was used for cooking. While you are in every section of the lower level, you are absolutely going to want to try to connect with the spirits of these enslaved people. And if you get equipment to go off, it could be them, or it could be a soldier. The Revolutionary War in Savannah was fought right outside in what's now Madison Square. And while it was being fought, the British officers who had occupied the city were living on this land, and they died on this land in 1779. We very much believe that they lingered here. So if anyone has a military background or has been to England before, talk about that. Use that to make a connection with them. Now, this area behind me, behind the fireplace back here, we have dubbed this area Shadow Man's Breezeway. Shadow Man is a spirit on the property I hesitate to bring up on investigations. The only reason I hesitate is because he is most often experienced visually. And if you've never seen a ghost before, don't expect to see a ghost tonight. That's just not how it works. If you've seen a ghost before, keep your eyes peeled. But for the rest of us, pay more attention to your other senses. Now, for those of us who do see shadows or see spirits, Shadow Man is not the only shadow figure down here. He's just different than the others. People who've seen him describe him as abnormally tall and appearing to have mass, as if he's three-dimensional, and the other shadow figures are just different. They're not quite like that. So Shadow Man is most often experienced in the breezeway, usually pacing it, walking the length back and forth. Now, if you would like to spend some time in the breezeway, please do. We even put a chair at the end of the breezeway, and that chair is there for you. That chair is there for these investigations. You could potentially have an experience with Shadow Man if you wanted to hang out back there, but do be open to connecting to whoever is back there tonight. The Shadow Man is not the only spirit in that breezeway. But I would spend some time alone if I were you. You don't have to do this. But if I were you, at some point, not in the breezeway necessarily, but I would leave my team and my equipment behind. I would go have a seat somewhere, close my eyes, try to have a personal connection. You can put your hand out. You can say, you have my permission. You can put your hand in my hand. It's a really nice way to invite that connection. And if you're not looking for that kind of connection, say that. Walk into any space and say out loud, thank you for sharing your space with me. I'm really excited to get to know you, but I would really appreciate it if you didn't touch me. That's really wise to vocalize what it is or is not that you're looking for. All right, let's go ahead to the room in the back. There's a handle on that left door, so we'll pull that handle toward them. I'm going to turn out these lights out here. lid. I just told you that you can sit on the chair in the breezeway. You can. You can also sit on the sofa that is in this room, and you can sit on the sofa that is in the next room. So you've got the one chair and the two sofas in these two rooms. But every other piece of furniture in this museum is off limits. Please don't sit on, don't lean on, don't touch any of the other antiques here. If you want to put your flashlights or your K2s or whatever on the table or on a sofa upstairs, you can do that. Just try really hard not to touch them, or certainly put your weight on them. Now this room is the linen room. This is where we believe the enslaved people were doing most of the cleaning for the Sorrel family, doing laundry in here, for instance. Now, the enslaved people on this property were all skilled laborers. They were carpenters and seamstresses and cooks and blacksmiths and cobblers and stable boys. They had really specific skills. So when you're trying to reach out to these enslaved people tonight, you might want to ask them if they have something to teach you. You might want to ask them if they were learning a new trade or wanted to. Ask them about their favorite horse in the stable or their favorite food to cook or eat, about their family. Spend some time getting to know the spirits of these enslaved people. And you might even want to tell them about what you do or what life is like today. Now, I very much feel confident to tell y'all that there's a little boy who is down here sometimes. We believe that this little boy was an enslaved person on this property, and we believe his name is Bobby. Names are really hard usually, but we've gotten this name enough times that I feel confident to give it to you. Bobby is my favorite spirit here, and nobody talks about him on tours, so I give him the attention he deserves on the investigation. He tends to like a group and just follow them around from rotation to rotation, so if you think that you've connected, invite him to come with you. He won't follow you home or anything. He's been here since the 1800s. No offense, but he's not following you home. So get to know him. You could try the flashlight trick with Bobby. Maybe put your flashlight like on the second half of this table down here, since he's a child. I don't know if he can reach the top half. So have fun with him. Now before we go into the next room, if anyone is wearing jewelry, particularly dangly earrings, but really just any jewelry that is valuable to you, sentimentally or otherwise, take it off, put it in your pocket, or give it to me. I know this sounds like a scare tactic, but people lose jewelry on this property, and when they lose it, we don't return it to them because we don't know where it goes. Everybody thinks it's a child's. It's not a spiteful thing, do something shiny on you, they just want it. If your ring is tight enough, I think it'll be okay. I had a coworker have a guest lose a wedding ring. She was very upset about it, so got it. Yeah, necklaces, something loose. That's what I literally use that example. If you are wearing your grandma's jewelry, I would never forgive myself if you lost it, so better safe than sorry, and I will hold on to this, okay?
They're gonna come up and like clasp it off, or?
Yeah, so people generally will reach up and realize it's gone. Your wedding ring is, I really think you'll be, I wear earrings every day. I've worked here for 5 years and I've never lost a piece of jewelry. I would hate myself if I told you that and then you lost it. But if your ring is tight enough on your finger, I imagine it'll be fine. It's usually dangly earrings because those seem easier to get off, and people lose just one of their two. I've had people lose bracelets. It just happens sometimes. Yeah? Did I freak everybody out? Yeah, just, you know what?
I'm leaving these lovely people.
Try to just, yeah.
I got a bundle up, I'll be okay.
Okay, it's good. And if you want, if you're keeping a piece of jewelry on, if you want, you could always take it off and keep an eye on it. You could put it on the table and then use it as a trigger object. That way you're watching it, and maybe a spirit wants to move it, and you can make sure that you don't lose it because you're keeping an eye on it. So up to you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Please,
I about my necklace, I need it back.
Yeah, that's okay. It's more like the bundle thingy. Take it with you. Put it in like your pants pocket or your bag or something. Somewhere where, yeah, you're less likely to, it's not exposed.
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Can I have the other one? Yes. Okay. All right. out who it is who's been taking our jewelry and where it goes. I would love to know. All right, let's go ahead into the next room. If someone wants to push on through those double doors, I just need to turn out these lights.
I guess so. Yeah, sorry. Freaking me out. I know, sorry. Moving these away.
I'm probably gonna get like 3 flashlights when I ask this, but would someone shine their flashlight on this sofa for me, please? Thank you. Yeah. So I think it's comfortable, but I'm asking you to shine your flashlight on it because if you do choose to sit here, you're gonna sink right into it. People come back to this property to sink into this sofa, so I would spend some time on it if you're looking for activity, but I just don't want you to like fall into the wall. So I'm giving a heads up. Thank you for the spotlight.
Oh, there's a red light.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So as I told y'all, this lower level was the enslaved people's working quarters. We're still trying to reach out to the enslaved people in here, but for a while it did serve a different purpose. In the mid-1800s, this was the makeshift operating room of Dr. Frank Sorrel. Frank Sorrel was Francis Jr. This is one of their kids. And Frank might be around. I would try to reach out to Dr. Sorrel, to Frank, but I would mostly pay attention or focus my energy on his patients. The majority of surgeries he was performing were amputations and the removal of bullets. He was seeing locals falling off their horse and carriage, classic 1800s accidents, so get specific when you're trying to reach out to any of them. This over here is a 19th century wheelchair. It does have a REM pod on it. I'm not sure who came with this wheelchair, but we do believe there are a couple of spirits who came attached with it. Didn't belong to this property. We brought it here a few years ago. I also will tell y'all, since bringing it here, several people have reported it moving by itself. You're going to be in here. It's always very slight. Yeah, the wheelchair. It's very, very slight, and you're going to be in here in the dark, so it's hard to see it, but it will not be hard to hear it. It has a squeaky third wheel in the back, so you can always invite someone in the wheelchair to come towards you for a chat and listen for the squeak of these wheels, or ask them to make the REM pod light up. Now, you already know about Bobby. You already know about this earring kid. I'm not sure who that is. The other kid down here who really wants your attention is a little girl named Sarah. Sarah loves to play games with our guests, so play some games with them. You can play Simon Says, and Simon Says to make the K2 light up. You could play Duck, Duck, Goose, sit in a circle, leave gaps for the kids, put a K2 in the gap. If you're having fun, they're going to want to join in your fun. That's the best way to get people to come through. So a lot going on in here. Enslaved people, Frank, Dr. Sorrel, his patients, and then the kids, Bobby, Sarah, earring kid. All right, it's not, maybe it's Bobby. Push on through those double doors. I'm about to lead you upstairs. I just need to turn out our lights. So just so you know where you are, that's the front door. If you were guests in Sorrel's, you would actually be required to wait behind the 2 columns in order to be invited in formally by a member of their family. I think that's a really respectful way to start your investigation up here. Stand behind the 2 columns, turn your spirit box on or put your flashlights down and ask permission to come come into their home. This is where we get a lot of reports of footsteps up and down the foyer and up and down the staircase. So I'm going to put the EDI here on the third step. I want to show you all just how sensitive this piece of equipment is. There is no need to stomp your feet or knock really loudly, because chances are there's somebody below you, and noise really travels in this old home. You'll be surprised how loud it is from downstairs. All you have to do is tap. I am barely touching this step. It is lighting up all the way. You're getting the same amount of activity or evidence, and then you're not disruptive for people below you, and you're not stomping on our original Georgia Park pine floors. So all you gotta do is tap. Now, this next room we're not gonna do a full tour in, because it was Francis Sorrel's study. You wanna know what happens in studies. Francis was doing some work in there. I'll be frank with y'all, it tends to be the least active room in the house, and I don't get very much activity from female guests. I am not deterring you from going into this room, but it just might not be the best place for you to get evidence tonight. Now, I'm going to ask that someone just push that door open, and if you would like to peek inside to see the study, feel free. I'm going to go ahead across the hall. Once you've taken your peek, follow me into the parlors. It's a very pretty room. We just don't get that much activity. Yeah.
I guess I have to do this story. She's already know. That's okay. What happens?
Oh, I'm going to tell you the story that they're thinking of. Yeah, it's probably the most famous story.
Yeah, people have to eat it. I would say it's horrible. All right. Love it. She's gonna explain.
On the walking tours, they tell you all sorts of stuff. So I hope they didn't scare you too much, because there is so much goodness here.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. So we're now with parlors, which are the prettiest rooms in this house, and what better way to show off your pretty rooms than to have a party. This was the party house of Savannah during its time. So while you're up here in these parlors, have a party. Even with your phone on airplane mode, you can still play music. Don't play it loudly, noise travels, but play some music, dance around gently. Talk to them about the parties that you like to attend or throw. Tell them what you like to drink, ask them what they like to drink. Now, at the end of the Sorrel's parties, all the guests were required to close out the night, separated by gender. So that room is the ladies' parlor, and this room is the gentleman's parlor. You never know what you're walking into. It could be the beginning of the night, and everybody is mingling together. But it could be the end of the night. What if they're more comfortable coming through to their respective sexes? So you could have the ladies go into the ladies' parlor. You could have the ladies come in here, ask the gentleman to dance with you, maybe stir up some energy that way. But there would have been a separation of the sexes at some point in their parties. Some furniture up here of note. The mirrors. There's one in here and one in the ladies' parlor. Take some pictures in these mirrors. Got some pretty compelling spirit photography in them. Take more than one at a time. There also is this gorgeous Steinway piano back here. If you know how to play it, you can't play it, but the spirits can. So you can try to make a connection with someone in the room and ask them to play a note or a chord that you might recognize. You might be able to hear it play. Now, friendly reminder, all the furniture is just off limits up here. The oils in your fingertips are really bad for these antiques. Sit on the rug, sit on the Georgia pine floors. That's perfectly fine. Put your K2s, your flashlights on the furniture. Just try really hard not to touch them. All right. Now, these were not just the party rooms. I have people sometimes up here dancing around and playing music, and it feels really inappropriate to them. These were their public rooms. If there was a loss in their family, they held their wake in these rooms. The Sorrels had wakes in here. One of their daughters got married in here. You never know what you're walking into. I would start with the party, but if that feels wrong, just adjust. If you're just walking into the family hanging out in their living room, so just sort of test out a few different options before deciding what night it feels like to you. Okay, there's also REM pod back here in the gentleman's parlor, so that's always for your use. Maybe a gentleman wants to sit by it and make it go off. could always try to get snacks with you through that. Let's go ahead to the ladies' parlor. I'm going to share with you the main story, and then I'll stop yammering at you, and you can investigate. That has happened. It doesn't happen every week, but yes, I have had people say that it's happened. I can't promise you that it wasn't already unzipped, but I have heard that more than once. Great. Yep, better safe than sorry. If you want me to put it in the carriage house, I can always do that. So, when you come to a haunted property, you have to expect that you're going to be hearing about tragedy. This property is no different. There was familial tragedy here that left quite an imprint. On March 27, 1860, the Sorrels were planning another one of their large, luxurious parties up here. And Matilda, the lady at home, who's pictured back here, she wanted to know how preparations for this party were coming along. So in order to find out, she would have found her most entrusted enslaved person, and she would have asked her. Her most entrusted enslaved person's name was Molly. The third location where everyone will be investigating tonight is the upper level of the carriage house. That's where the enslaved people lived, but Molly had her own private bedroom. When it's your turn to investigate over there, I'll bring you up there myself. I'll turn on a light and I'll give you more information. On March 27, 1860, Matilda was looking for Molly, couldn't find her, finally goes over there, finds her in her room, but she also finds Francis, her husband, who is in Molly's bed with her. And we can take an educated guess what he was doing, but it is very important, especially in these investigations, that we all keep in mind Molly was an enslaved person. Francis was Molly's enslaver. There was no consent able to be involved, given the dynamic of their relationship. And having seen this, a lot of people think it might have been a last straw for Matilda, because Matilda ran down the steps from the carriage house, came back into her home. Eventually, she went upstairs to the third floor above us, out to the third-story balcony, and she fell over the ledge. She landed in what was then the drive, and she did pass away nearly half a day later from head trauma. Then about 2 weeks after Matilda's loss, nobody could find Molly again. Again, finally, someone found her in her room, but this time she was hanging from a rafter in the ceiling. And because Molly was an enslaved person, Molly was considered property by the Sorrels and by this city. Therefore, there was never any sort of an investigation that went into Molly's death. And we don't know. We will never know exactly what happened to her. We don't know exactly what happened to Matilda either. Nobody can tell you that Matilda jumped. Nobody can tell you that Matilda wasn't pushed. Matilda's death was recorded by Francis as an accident. He said in the newspaper that she fainted. I don't know that she didn't faint. The only factual information we can tell you regarding her death is that she is not buried with the rest of her family. Matilda is buried alone, far away from their mausoleum, and in an unmarked grave. There's just no reason for her to be buried that way unless it was suicide. But again, nobody really knows what happened except them. You have such a unique opportunity tonight. You can reach out to whomever you want to reach out to. You have our permission to do that. And you have our permission to ask them about their lives and about their deaths. You just have to do so with respect. That is really the only rule that we have here, besides the masks. The masks are also a rule. The main rule is respect for this house, first and foremost, an historical museum, respect for each other, everyone who's here tonight, and very much respect for these spirits. We wouldn't even hold this event if we thought we were putting you in harm's way in any way. So we ask that you uphold the kindness and the respect that we work really hard to maintain here. It's a really easy rule, but I have to kind of drive it home. Usually I give like a whole spiel, but I won't do it with y'all. I think you can handle it. All right. So any questions regarding anything at all? History, equipment, names, refreshers, please.
Why are we allowed on the third floor? Why is that too
We don't have the proper fire escapes.
low?
I know, it's just,
It's a really scary.
no, there's not, it's a really boring reason. Yeah, 1840 city codes don't match up with 2022 city codes, so we can't go up there. Yeah, the Ghost Hunters TV shows, they don't even go up there, so you're not missing out. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, please, yes. You know what I could do also, is I could start y'all in the carriage house, and you can just drop it off for y'all. Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna drop y'all off up here. So y'all will have this whole upper level, the whole mansion really to yourself. They'll be across the way. Now, are you okay with that?
Yes.
So this door right here is a good example. You see how this door is not fully in the door frame? They don't quite fit. So if you want to close the doors, don't force them into the door frame because they don't fit anymore and they're historic. Now this one will close on its own if you don't open it wide enough. So pre-debunked, not a ghost, just a heavy historic door. The only door that I need you to leave shut is the one across the hall that leads downstairs. Just works as a barrier for noise, and it will just be closed after rotation. Okay, so I'm going to drop off y'all up here, and then the four of us, we're going to head over to the carriage house. So feel free to follow
Wait,
me.
one more question.
Please, I have
Okay,
one
sorry,
question.
because we were looking, we were trying to learn about house before we came here. Wait, is Matilda the younger sister?
Yes.
So who was the first wife again?
Lucinda.
Okay, now.
She never lived here, though.
Okay. Was he that much older than her?
No.
Okay.
Different times.
So they were around?
He was 12 years older,
Okay.
but not 50 years older like that picture makes it seem. Yeah. So she's asking a really interesting question that now I'll just tell everybody. This is good for you to know. Francis was Matilda's brother-in-law. He was married to her older sister Lucinda, but Lucinda died of yellow fever after 5 years of marriage and 3 kids. So after that, Matilda was contracted into this marriage with Francis in order to keep all the wealth and the names and everything in the family. So she then adopted her nephews and niece, and then she gave him 8 more children after that. So, yeah, and 3 of her kids died under the age of 6. Yeah, one of them was Matilda Ann, named after her. She was 6 years old. She died of scarlet fever here on the property. So you can even try to reach out to Matilda Ann. So that's helpful. Now you have a little bit more background information. You can even talk to Matilda about this in a gentle way if you wanted to. All right, great.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions or anything before I set you straight? All right. So feel free to follow me out this way. I'm going to turn out the lights. Happy investigating. Right.
You don't have to.
Oh, shit.
That's the only reason that I got to know this, because when I walked in the door, it literally felt like someone like on a person with their age. It felt like someone just didn't do this. And so it was just like, I just needed that explanation. It was an adjustment because I didn't get it. It's a lot of talking. It's like a lot of just.
Have you ever been in downtown prisons underground in Charleston?
No. See, that's I don't feel like they're not
I saw that on the table. What's that one on the table? Well, that's the same thing. Was there one? Sorrels, may we please enter your home? My name is Amy. I'm Ashley. My name is Caleb Vaughn.
I guess that doesn't really make sense to say that.
You don't know that? They may appreciate it.
They might be okay with it. They might understand the way we do it. Yeah. Is it okay if we come inside?
How's the study tonight?
Very nice or not? I love how there's like this huge portraits made, like, that's gorgeous. Just gonna sit right here. Wow, looking man.
Molly, because we don't know very much about Molly. All anybody ever talks about with Molly are these horrible things that happened to her. Why not walk into that room and ask her about any other day? Why not ask her what her hair looked like? Or ask her what she liked to cook? Spend some time getting to know her outside of this one narrative. She is reminded of these things all the time when people come in and investigate, tell them, talk about something else. I would want to come through to talk about those horrible things. I would want to come through to talk about something else. So that's my 2 cents for you there. There are some chairs up here, one in the far corner and one in this nearer corner, and you're more than welcome to sit on those or pick them up and move them around. They're here for you, or of course, feel free to sit on the floor. Now up here, you do have smaller spaces, but when you're investigating the mansion too, don't feel obligated to stay together as a team the whole time. If you want to go off as pairs or anything, you can. Work together as a team if you prefer, but just don't feel obligated because they put you together tonight. Up to you how you want to do it. Just share your equipment.
The more the merrier.
I'm sure you guys know more about it. I'm going to turn out the lights, and then I will get out of your way. Me and Mom are on the same page. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Happy investigating. Thank you. Thank you.
Like she said, to ask Molly like positive kind of questions, not bring up like any horrible.
I guess first we should all roughly introduce ourselves. Hi, anyone who is here. My name is Molly. Thanks to being here. We're really intrigued to learn as much as we can learn tonight. Maybe Bobby's here.
Yeah.
Bobby, are you here? If you are, can you come out and play with us? Can you turn the flashlight off? Or make it dim a little bit?
Does anyone else here like to cook?
Here, can you dim the light, the flashlight that's on the table?
That thing even creeps me out more than anything.
It's kind of tricky. How many people slept in here? Are you here, Mr. Samuel? Can you make this play some music? Can you say that again? Is this your room, Molly? Did you make that red light go off, Molly? You here?
And that's just the reflection. We are flashlight and kind of like this, so we don't have any reflections. Okay. Please sit down. Tell us about golden prince relationship. Because we're all having some relationship problems of our own. Amy's husband is always gone. Ashley keeps being told that she's pressuring him into being in a relationship. And I keep screwing my bosses. Please, someone. We're doing great. I keep messing up the only relationship that I love in my life. You know, we could use some advice.
We could use advice.
Ooh, wait. Ready? Righty, did you guys have anything? Please share. Please share. I think the only people we want to talk to are the people that we don't want to hear from. That makes sense. I would actually like to know what went on in these rooms. Like, so they separated the women's and men's parlor.
Mm-hmm.
So was it that the women just went into another room to like gossip and have casual drinks, and the men went into another room to smoke cigars? And
I wonder if it was more like we're doing right now. What?
like
Do you want to repeat that maybe a little bit louder?
yes.
Did you guys kind of go into separate rooms for drinks and just to kind of chat and catch up with each other?
And, sorry, I'm I apologize. Sometimes I talk too fast.
She gets very excited. She doesn't love to talk about everything.
I told her I would overshare. I feel like that would have gotten me in trouble in that era. We would just really like to know about y'all's life. If you can.
What you guys did just day to day.
How were the parties? It sounded luxurious. Luxurious? Have to be invited in before you walk in. Oh my gosh. I would never be invited. I'm not cool enough. Oh my gosh, it's like my dream. Except to have to do whatever a man wants you to do.
However, I would like to know, you guys did wear corsets.
Were they very uncomfortable?
Did they fit your boobs?
Those things are perky. No one did a good job. It just looked good. Oh, yes. So that's mine too.
Did you have beautiful dresses, Matilda?
No, I was going to tell them now that you can get implants in your body to make your breasts large. The people that mutilate their bodies, we do it on purpose. It's a weird time. Matilda, I would like to know if you were ever in love with Francis. If there was ever a time in your life that you thought, wow, I love that man. Or if you were like, oh, I just have to be with him.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that again?
And was there ever a man that you were in love with at some point in your life? Maybe it wasn't Francis, and maybe it was someone that no one else ever knew about. And that the stories won't tell. It was a secret, passionate love. And only Francis could never give it to you. Shit, did anyone else see it? Someone keep talking about her. Obviously, Matilda likes to talk about her love life just like we do. She likes you, so keep talking. I don't know what else to say. I can't really. Well, Matilda, listen, honey. We, unfortunately, have not done well with our love lives. I mean, we're really screwing up. My man just told me that we are not serious, even though he drunkenly told me that he was in love with her. Basically, he's in love with me. So I don't know what to do. I think men are just excuse the men in the other room. I don't understand. Also, Matilda, were you actually heartbroken when you walked in on Francis with Molly? Or were you like, oh, thank God, at least he's not bothering me? Because sometimes that's how I feel. Like, I can't be in a committed relationship like I would want someone else to be bothered. Because these men are so horny. And what? I just don't understand. Like, I can't keep up with it. Like, I have my own needs, yes. But, like, I don't need someone consistently bothering me all the time. Like, if they want to go somewhere else, go have that. Also, yes, it can be heartbreaking if you're in love with that person, but you know, if you're not, it's almost like, wow, what a relief your daughter's in love. Obviously, it's a completely different situation because you walked in on your man with a younger girl, a lot younger, and it was like disturbing how young she was. I mean, I was all together, so maybe that's just me being a psycho. Why do you say this? I don't know. See, Matilda, when I do anything else, I'm never sure. She starts talking and then she gets scared and then she just keeps talking. Yeah. I also just feel like ghosts do like nature healing in the moment. I don't know. Right now.
the radio is probably making some pretty weird sounds to you too.
Oh, it's all weird.
Tell Anna, did you ever, whenever your parents were throwing parties, used to come in and try and hide under a piece of furniture to listen in on all the gossip? You're really close to your mama and just wanted to be around her. Talk about what she wanted to talk about. Or were you close to your dad?
You're close to
You're close to your dad, huh? So, did you used to try and hang out with them? Did you try and go and hang out with your dad and the study? Or the study was his personal space?
Did you like to sing a lot? Is that kind of what you did? You sing songs, you play games. I gotta know. Holy cow. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off now. Grab my flashlight here. I'm gonna grab our little EMF rating here.
We will see you guys later.
Oh, you have your EMF now?
Which one was it? This one?
Learn a little bit about you guys.
I'm sitting in it right now.
No, I'm saying, like, is that one of the chairs that you can sit in?
I don't know. I thought this was the chair that they said they put here on purpose.
Oh, maybe.
I know that bench. Ooh, where was that bench?
It's in the other one.
If we come into this room,
People walking above me are freaking me out.
looks like there's some like little toys over here. Do you mind if I look? Like some little kid chairs.
Please do not touch.
No, I'm not going to.
No, I'm just talking.
Oh, it's not toys. It's like sewing materials and buttons.
Was it really hard to work on the loom? Because it looks very difficult.
I know I heard something. No, I legit heard something.
Where?
Do you mind if I set this down right here? If anyone is over here? Would you mind making that light up? I thought I heard you. I know you guys are probably busy working. Let's see, I think she said it was Bobby. Likes to play down here. Bobby. Here, you know what? I know she said you may not be able to reach the top of that table. Bobby. You here, buddy?
Do you want to play?
Do you like Miss Mary Mac? Did you ever sing?
Yeah. Do you want to play Miss Mary Mac? What are some boy songs?
Boy songs. Oh no. Did you ever play patty cake? I bet you played tag.
Ooh, tag is fun.
Did we lose Hannah? Oh no, she's sitting over there. I was like, Hannah! Freaking me out, woman.
Hello.
Ooh, Bobby, I know what you can do. You know the wheelchair that's sitting in this other room right here? I don't want to move it because it might be heavy. And I want to see if you can move it. Do you think you could make that squeaky little back wheel make sound? I'm going to come into this room. I'm going to leave that EMF there. You can light it up. That little box that's sitting there in that wheelchair, Bobby, it does make a lot of fun sounds and it'll light up pretty colors.
Does all sorts of fun stuff. Bobby, do you want to play, honey?
I know it's probably kind of weird having strangers in your house, but my name is Amy.
And I'm Ashley, and I have 3 little brothers.
She does have 3 little brothers.
They love to play. I also have a nephew. He loves trucks. Loves trucks. And Mickey Mouse, which I think he probably would have liked Mickey Mouse too. It was pretty cool. Bobby, do you have any brothers or sisters? Light up the wheelchair if you do.
Did you like to play with the horses?
She did tell us to come down here, right? Like, here, don't just say downstairs.
I used to ride horses, Bobby. I did for a long time. Did you ever ride the horses?
Hannah.
Hannah? Please don't leave me in here by myself.
Hannah likes boys. I'm just saying that, like, when we babysit, you want to talk to the radio? Amy, what do you think?
Who's gonna take the thing? Little radio. That light is still in there on that wheelchair. I know you probably know that. Or anyone? Can anyone tap on the door to let us know you're here? What was the evidence we have up here? Maybe study teacher. What was the evidence? It was just these two. These two. And then the hallway, or the stairs she put in. Francis, did you throw parties up here? Can you play some music on that box in her hand and Holly's hand, Francis?
Would you like to dance, Matilda? Is this one of the rooms that you would dance in?
Listen, I'll be
Go
honest.
near what?
I'll go downstairs.
Oh, I'm gonna go downstairs. Okay.
Shadow man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of the hair with the light on.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm not looking. Oh my God, it's not no face on
Is there anyone here who did not like to dress up for the parties? I myself do not like to dress up. Do not like clothes. Any gentlemen in the room?
Yeah.
That just. You didn't see that, right?
I did it. I did.
I did. Can you do that again? Whoever just made the flashlight do that? I was really thinking about going and getting it, so it wasn't like. So three of us will have to do it.
That's
For sure
true.
happened, because I was like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get that flashlight, and I was like,
We're gonna have to, I guess, rewatch the live stream. Is there anyone here? If there is, can you make the light dim again? It's very interesting. Maybe I'm just seeing things.
Matilda.
We're gonna say, did you pick out this run?
Matilda, did you like to decorate? I wonder if you. Or if there's just percussion, it's all great tunes.
Yeah.
Every time.
Flickered.
Whoever's flickering the light, thank you for, doing that, showing us that you can do that. Can you do it again? Matilda Ann, is that your doll? If it is, can you make that light flicker again? Or Sarah, if that's your doll, can you make the light dim again?
It's funny that I don't have dolls, because I have a ton of dolls that I used to collect. So, before someone,
Yeah. See, so my grandma collects all of them. And they're like ladies and they dress up with hair and
fancy dresses.
very cheap and they just stay very like, and we have their own shows. So a lot of we got confirmation on that. That was very nice of them. I've never seen anything like that.
And I haven't done anything.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that's me.
We're all
I moved my foot.
Sorry.
Are there any children in here? Are there any gentlemen over there that can make that red light go off?
I wonder what kind of tea is that.
Did they have tea? Did any ladies have tea in here during your parties?
Probably the nice ones chilling.
If anybody's in here, can you make the green light go off on this device? Thank you for doing that.
It came from one of the, I think it was a flashlight.
Is that you, Bobby, playing with the flashlight? If it is, can you do that again?
There was a doctor, I believe. Or was that Mr. Sorrel? That was here, right? Dr. Sorrel? Dr. Sorrel? Yeah, what's Dr. Sorrel? Dr. Sorrel, you here? Are you ready? Did you just say yeah? Or was that the radio? Quite chilly down here. Is that someone making it cold? Or is it actually just chilly? share stories about your dad and your. So his dad is a top general surgeon in South Carolina. Does a bunch of crazy robotic stuff. Dr. Sorrel, are you here? Whenever she started saying that there was a doctor in the family, she's gonna start talking about him as like a Frankenstein doctor. I'm just kidding. She's really not. Hi. I apologize.
Bobby, do you think that's funny?
I should do what I do. Do you like to play? It's like Dad.
I'm gonna lay this
I've
for
been drinking enough wine for this. Please, please, move the damn flashlight. Hannah wants to play, Bobby. Oh, she's tired now. The girl doesn't get enough exercise. Come on, Mommy.
Yeah, who's the little boy or little girl? I don't know if you're a little boy or little girl.
Or who's the one who
Yeah, I highly doubt your name was Bobby.
One little boy might be Bobby, but the other one,
likes to play with jewelry?
are you a little boy or little girl? Do you like the shiny stuff? I mean, we all like shiny stuff. I can't blame you. Does anybody like jewelry down here?
I wonder if this place, like, obviously there were no cars or anything, but I bet it was way more, like, creepy about having those cars drive past and stuff.
Well, also, it must have been really cold. Yeah, freezing. I mean, did y'all just have the fire on the whole time? Because I don't know how you did it without.
I was really sweating buckets having to take care of the house.
Not in the middle of the night, though.
I'm shocked I haven't seen any bugs. Dog bugs crawling over.
Hannah does not like
Hannah
bugs.
does not like bugs. She does not mess with those big roach
Looking for them everywhere, and I haven't seen one.
palmetto bugs. And I know Savannah hasn't because I've seen them before.
And they big. Do you guys have a palmetto bug problem? How'd you get rid of them?
Yeah, I don't know what bugs anymore.
Did y'all have a designated killer like we do in our house?
Someone had to get the bugs.
The designated killer for bugs would be me.
One time I got trapped in one area of my house in the morning and screamed bloody murder, and Ashley still didn't hear me. And it stared at me in the eyes. And then, after 30 minutes, hiding in my shower, and us doing a stare-off, it started flying towards me. Once again, I screamed bloody murder, jumped out of the shower, ran out of my room,
That was deep sleep. Very deep.
She's supposed to be my protector.
I can only do so much. Clearly not a very good one, let me tell you. Bobby, do you kill the bugs? There's also a Sarah. Wasn't there a Sarah? That was a little girl. There's a Bobby and a Sarah. Was your name Sarah? Sarah? Are you the one that likes jewelry? Did I hear someone over here, or is it the people upstairs? Is someone busy working?
Kind of.
Kind
No,
of. Okay.
We can get out of your way if you want us to.
Is it a busy night? Busy evening? No, I did hear that. Okay. So we're just kind of working, getting some stuff done in the evening. Once we were done with our work, did we ever share stories? I think we're gonna head out now. All right.
Bye, guys.
Might be a little bit running around. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dr. Sorrel, are you in here? Did you do a lot of surgeries on soldiers during the war?
My mom's a nurse, so she knows that stuff.
Calm down.
Well, you never know.
If somebody's here, can you make that wheelchair move?
I apologize ahead of time if I scream and disturb you. We would love to see something, see your presence, get to know you, hear your stories. Did you say sit on this couch?
I think you can, but just be careful.
Alright, R.I.P. to me.
I wish you didn't joking.
Yeah, she's It is actually very comfortable, probably.
Got all the springs around it.
Well, if it wasn't 8 feet tall, this would be.
Are we supposed to have a flashlight thing? Or are we supposed to be in like, doesn't matter.
Look.
If there's somebody in here with us, can you make that red light go off? Just touch the top of that machine to tell us that you're here.
I would like to state for the record, I am excited to meet someone, however, I would not like to be touched.
Do we have, right? I thought I heard a thud, yeah. I saw YouTube pause.
What happened?
I thought I heard like a thud up here.
But I thought it came from,
I think it was the door over here closing. Because I watched that door close.
Yeah, I did hear the thud.
Didn't you say that kids like to play down here too?
Bobby and then the kid that takes the earrings.
Bobby, are you the one that takes the earrings? Bobby, are you making that flashlight dim? We just saw it happen again.
Can you do it again? We'll keep playing. You know you like to play.
I think in the room where the shadow man is.
The
The other chair was in
that
there.
table too tall?
Oh yeah, there's the table. Can you try that one right there?
If that's too tall.
Bobby, can you turn that light on or turn it off and make it dim?
For you, Bobby, to play with?
Sarah, if you're down here, can you make that light dim a little bit? Or Matilda Ann?
No, just let me because I felt her back on me. And I was like, what are you doing? She said we're going back to back. You're such a goober.
On the kitchen table, Bobby, or Sarah. Does anyone want to play with the light?
Thank you for adding that last bit. Thank you for adding that last bit about the light.
with the light. If there's anyone down here, we would love to hear your story. Know that you're here with us. If you're able to, can you please dim the light? I don't know what's more scary, whether it's on them or when we just casually talk and it just happens. Or when we can ask somebody something and actually do it.
Yeah. Make you listen.
That's nice of them.
Is there anybody down here with us? Can you tell us your name on that box that's making noises?
I think in a weird way, the speaker box brings me comfort. I don't know why. Because like when we turn off, it's just us.
Yeah, because you can't hear. Yeah, that's true.
What was this room used for? Did you sew in here? I don't know, because there's a big people in there.
I would say it's the kitchen, yeah, because that was their like dining area.
If there's anyone in here who used to work in the kitchen, I like the kitchen too. I like to bake and cook all sorts of things. Can you tell us what your favorite thing to cook is? That's what I'm saying. All right, dear.
That little fire, she wasn't in that thing, so we don't know.
We have about half an hour left till it's 1:30.
Okay, well, we're doing it.
Alright, we can try to do it.
I'm gravitating towards it. Hold on, yeah, grab this off.
Bobby, did you used to play talks or anything? It sounded like Molly. That sounded like a girl's voice. I could be wrong. Bobby, are you whispering? Or it could be somebody else. We could be talking to somebody that's not Molly or Bobby. What kind of food did you make? I'm Filipino, so I'm really good at making rice and chicken. Really good, actually. I would say I'm pretty impressive. Molly, is it okay if we come in your room and just kind of have some girl talk? We can talk about your favorite sports. We can talk about your favorite day-to-day activities. Did you have a favorite
okay if we go in your room so we can just have girl talk? Or would you rather us all hang out here?
Come on in. Is that what you said? Okay. We can come on in. Oh, might take us a minute to get up though. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Wait. Okay, not going. No, it wasn't her. Was that Mr. Samuel? Can we come in now, Molly? Can we come in, Molly? This is a beautiful mirror sitting up here. I'm not gonna touch it, don't worry. That's your stuff, your life. I was just admiring it. Very beautiful. I think it's really pretty too, along with the picture in the corner. It looks like a pink. Is your favorite color pink? What's your favorite color pink, Molly?
Say anything to me? I have a flashlight in my hand. Can you turn it on or touch the flashlight? Can you say that again? They call you Shadow Man. Are you down here tonight? Do they call you that because you like to scare people or are you just protecting the place?
Oh. I was like,
But that's between me. It's a rickety old chair. Okay, Shadow Man, I'm leaving now. Can you make a noise to let us know you're here? Okay. Okay. I don't know what down the hall. I didn't see anything, but I heard. Can you make that noise again? If you're here in this hallway, can you gonna be leaving soon. Can you just shake my hand or touch my hand? Oh, I'm giving you permission to touch my hand. Can you speak into the box? I'm gonna turn the light on.
Yeah, yeah. You watch the video of your tour from yesterday to see what it was like, and in one of the rooms where a doorway was, they saw a shadow, like they put, I think, a flashlight and.
My watch just vibrated, it scared me.
I think they put a flashlight or something in between the walkway.
Turn it on. You said it, like you did turn it on, you can use the remote.
Operate it.
Well, I don't know, I feel like if I
I don't know if I
eliminate
can stand
everything.
it up. If you're in here, can you make that light dim? Can you do that again with the light? You should be able to turn that light off if you can walk this hallway and people see you.
Thank you for doing the light again.
Can you make that noise again? With all of our backs are turned to the
Yeah,
light.
sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Tell you back to back, man. It's a good system.
Are there any soldiers here?
So I guess I'll have to turn my
Like it
speaker
really
hard.
flipped hard that time.
Is that a soldier that just flickered that light? Could you do it again for us?
Were you wounded in the war? Did you have surgery here and die?